Okay, so let's have partial fractions. So we have three types of a partial fraction. We have the linear factors. Yung ating denominator is linear. Kumbaga ganito. Okay? And we have the repeated linear factors. Kumbaga, if this is the denominator, that is in a power of squared, cube, fourth, kumbaga nagre-repeat lang yung denominator natin dito. Okay, and we have the quadratic factors. So ganito, quadratic meaning that is a quadratic equation. Okay, kumbaga hindi na siya factorable. This one is not factorable. Kumbaga if we will factor this, ang lalabas na roots sa x is imaginary. Okay, kaya siya tinawag na quadratic factors. Now as you can see you can observe this a pattern, no? Kumbaga in linear factor, diretso lang. If this is the denominator, kumbaga isa-isahin lang natin yung denominator dito, and that will be yung partial fraction niya is a over x plus a. Then dito naman another denominator here. Ayan, makikita nyo yung pattern, no? If ganito naman, if repeating siya, this is linear, walang roots, walang power yung x natin dito, or the degree of the polynomial is 1 lang. So we have this pag cube. So this is the pattern, x plus a, then x plus a squared, then up to x plus a cube. Now if ganito, if may quadratic equation tayo, okay, look at this. So first, this is the quadratic equation. Hindi na natin yan kumbaga mabungkag. Okay? Or hindi na natin yan ma-break into factors. Kaya diretso na yan. Okay? Then, this another linear. Pag quadratic siya, ang lalabas na coefficient natin sa itaas is ax plus b, or basta meron kang isang coefficient multiplied by x, then mag-add ka ng isang coefficient. Okay, so let's have an example. Decompose the equation into partial fraction. Okay, this one. Excuse me. Now first we have this equation. And take note that our denominator is not yet factored. Okay, now we will check if the denominator is factorable. If hindi ba siya magbibigay ng imaginary roots. Okay, so how can we do that? Okay, by using our calculator. This one, di ba? How to calculate the roots? Take note that is a quadratic equation. Okay, that is in mode, then equation 5, then we will go press down quadratic. Then just input the coefficient ng ating quadratic equation dito. That will be 1. Coefficient of x squared 1. Then the coefficient of the x is negative 3. Then the constant is 2. Then press equals. So the roots are 2 and 1. Okay, so therefore the factor of this is x minus 2 and x minus 1. Correct? Okay, so that will be like this. This can be expressed into ganito. Kumbaga, finactor out natin ito. Then, as you can see, this is linear. And it is not repeating, no? Sa pinakita natin from the previous slide. So, pwede natin siyang i-factor or i-partial fraction. Ganito. Kumbaga, brinake natin yung original equation niya. Okay, then that will be like this. Now, our mission here is to calculate the constant a and constant b. So how can we do that? So in our undergrad, the method that we are using is yung yung kukunin natin yung degree sa kabila. Kumbaga if the first degree variables dito, equate natin sa first degree dito. Okay, so we can do that. But here there are another solutions naman dito na mas madali siya. Okay, for example, we want to calculate the a dito. Okay, si a muna yung kukunin natin. Di ba? If we want to calculate the a, look at this. I will multiply this whole term here by the denominator of a. And it will be like this. Okay? I just multiply this whole by denominator of a. Okay? Okay, by multiplying this by x minus 1, so maka-cancel yung x minus 1 dito. And of course, makakancel yung denominator ng a, then it will be like this, multiplied by x minus 1 divided by x minus 2. Now, in order to calculate the a dito, take note that in this case, may dalawang unknown pa tayo. So, I will let x here as 1. Bakit? Diba? If I will let that x minus 1 equals to 0, or this is just the denominator of a, or let's say that x is equals to 1, just transpose this, ano yung mangyayari sa x minus 1 dito? This one. Therefore, that will be 1 minus 1. So, this will be automatically cancelled out. Meaning, yung other unknown natin is makakancel natin. Ang matitira is yung a. Okay? Gets? Okay, so this will be cancelled out and we will express, substitute x dito. And it will be like this. Our a is 2. Okay, using this, diba, this one can be cancelled out na. So, ang matitira dito is a is equals to this term. And take note that we let x as equals to 1. So, we can directly solve our a na by this equation na lang. That will be 3x minus 5 divided by x minus 2. Okay, x minus 2. Then, we will let x as 1 because, ayun nga, in order to eliminate this one. So, I will press calc and x is 1 and we have the answer of a. Okay? Now, if si b naman yung gusto natin kunin, i-multiply natin to lahat by the denominator of the b. So, ang matitirang equation dito, ito naman yung makakancel out, yung x minus 2. And ito naman, a times x minus 2 divided by x minus 1, then yung b can be will be free in its denominator. Wala na siyang magiging denominator, di ba? Okay, now again, in order to eliminate the another unknown, this one, we will let x minus 2 is equals to 0, or this is just the denominator of b. So, here we have x is equals to 2. So, this one can be cancelled out na, di ba? When x is 2, that will be 2 minus 2 is 0 siya. So, magiging cancelled out to. Then, letting x as 2 and substitute dito, our b here is 1. Okay, therefore, the partial fraction of this equation, that will be like that. Okay, a is 2, b is 1. And that is the answer. Okay, madali lang, no? How about this another, if hindi ka komportable sa solution na to, may ibang solutions pa dito ipapakita natin. Okay? Another example and another type of problem. Okay, decompose the equation into partial fraction. Now, again, look at ano yung denominator natin, no? So, as you can see, we have repeating linear. Kumbaga, walang power yung x dito. Or the degree of the polynomial is 1. And linear, may power dito. And we have this quadratic equation, naka x squared. Because if we will check this, di ba sinabi ko, that will be a quadratic equation or hindi na siya factorable if yung roots nito is imaginary. Okay, if you will check that in the calculator, ang lalabas na roots dito is, okay, imagine nyo na lang, x squared minus plus 1, then i-transpose natin yung 1 sa kabila, that will be negative 1, then that will be square root of negative 1. And take note that square root of negative 1 is I, or imaginary. Meaning this 1 cannot be factored out na. Okay? So we can decompose this into ganito. Okay, just follow that one. X, the same lang. Equate natin to a over x minus 2. Then, take note that this is repeating. Mag-add pa tayo ng isa, b over x minus 2 squared. Then, if that is quadratic equation, then as I said kanina, we have to have a numerator with it's constant multiplied by x. Then, dagdag pa tayo ng another constant plus d. Okay, ito yung pinakita natin kanina. Now, ano yung una nating makukuha dito? Okay, kanina, I said that kung ano yung kukunin natin na constant is i-multiply natin lahat by its denominator. But as you can see, mauuna ba natin makuha si A? Si this one? Okay, in this case, ang una nating kukunin is yung this one, yung B. X minus 2, take note, naka-squared yan. Okay, so you can see bakit uunahin natin to. You look at this. If I will get B first, I will multiply this whole term here by x minus 2. Okay? If doing that, I mean x minus 2 squared. Okay, multiply natin by this whole term by x minus 2 squared, the denominator of B. And as you can see, this x minus 2 dito will be cancelled out. Then, if a over x minus 2 multiplied by x minus 2 squared, makakancel lang yan and may matitirang isa. Okay, and this one will be free from its denominator, and this one multiplied by x minus 2 squared. Okay? Now, ito na yon. Bakit inuna natin yung B? Because if inuna natin yung A, multiply natin to by the whole term x minus 2, dito sa letter B, may matitirang x minus 2, diba? If we will multiply this by x minus 2 lang. So, ang isa lang yung makakancel dito. Meaning, we cannot eliminate the unknown B muna in the first place. Okay? Kaya, uunahin natin yung may power always. Okay? So, in this case, if we will let x minus 2 is equals to 0, or x equals to 2, we transpose this. So, this term here will be cancelled out, and also this term, diba? X minus 2 is 0, then multiply by, any number multiplied by 0 will be 0. So, ang matitira dito is B is equals to this equation. Okay? And we can substituting 2 dito, and it will be like this. B is equals to 5. Okay? Ganito lang yan. B is equals to this. Okay? I hope you can follow lang that. Next, after we get B, okay, now observe this, guys. We already calculated B, and ilan na lang yung matitirang unknown natin dito. That will be A, C, and D. Okay? Now, actually, if we have 3 unknowns, we can directly use the mode equation sa calculator natin. Or kahit itong 4 na unknown, we can directly solve this kanina pa. Okay, so, in this case, another technique yung ipapakita natin. So, ganito yan. Diba? I-substitute muna natin. Then, I will transpose, okay, this original equation, ha? We have, take note, we have B as 5. So, this whole term here, i-transpose na, natin sa kabila. That will be minus B, but B is 5 over x minus 2 squared. And the remaining unknowns dito is A over this, basta this term dito. Okay, ito yung matitirang unknown. Now, we have unknown A, C, and D. And ganito yung gagawin natin. Okay, so you can combine techniques dito para mas mapadali nyo yung solution nyo. We will let x as 3 variables. Kumbaga, okay, so I will rearrange this muna. Okay, ganito, ha? And I will separate cx plus d. So, magiging cx over this denominator and d over this denominator. And again, that one. This whole term dito. I just rearranged, ha? Then, ang gagawin natin dito, since tatlo yung unknown natin, magle-let tayo ng tatlong values ng x. Okay, so ganito yan. Let's say x is equals to 3, x sub 2 is equals to 2, I mean 4, and x sub 3 is equals to 5. Again, that can be any value of x. Kumbaga, we can use this x is equals to 1,000, x is equals to 2,000, and x equals to 3,000. Kumbaga, any value of x talaga. Basta wag lang paulit-ulit yung tatlong values natin. Okay? And basta lang, hindi pwedeng mag-zero yung denominator dyan. Okay? Kumbaga, hindi na natin pwedeng gawin dito na x is equals to 2. But because if we will let x as equals to 2, this one will be 0. And itong term na to is magiging undefined. So, hindi yan pwede. Okay? Ang iiwasan lang natin dito is to, para hindi maging undefined yung term natin dito sa lahat. Okay, so since 3 cannot cannot make these terms here as undefined, 3, 4, 5, so ito yung gagamitin natin. Okay, 3, 4, 5 na lang para mas madali. It can be 10, 11, 12. It's up to you talaga. Okay, now, look at this. If I will let x as 3, anong mangyayari sa a dito? Okay, just follow this equation dito. So, that will be a over 3 minus 2, or that is just a. Okay, letting x is equals to 3. Then, dito naman, look at this. X is 3, ha? Okay, 3 over 3 squared plus 1. That is 10. So, that is 3 over 10 of c. Okay, follow? And this one naman, that is 3 squared plus 1. Okay, we just let x as 3. 3 squared plus 1 is just 10. And that will be 1 over 10 of d. Then, just substitute the value of 3 to this whole term dito. Then, it will give us negative 0.7. Okay, and I will let this as equation 1. Okay, now another value of x, when x is 4, again, and we will substitute this to this, again, original equation, that will be 4 minus 2, or that will be a over 2, or 1 half of a. Then, ito naman, that will be 4 over, ano yung 4 squared plus 1? That is, 4 squared is 16, plus 1 is 17. So, that will be 4 dito sa taas over 17 of c. Now, this one, 4 squared plus 1, that is 1 over 17 of d. Then, substitute the value of x dito, and it will give, I mean, yung x natin dito is 4, okay? And it will give this value, negative 9 over 34, and that will be our equation 2. Now, another thing here is when x is 3. I mean, when x sub 3 is 5. So, again, substitute yung x natin dito. That will be 5 minus 2. And that will be 1 over 3 of a. And this one, that will be 5 over 5 squared. That is 25 plus 1. So, that is 26. 5 over 26 of c. And here, that will be 1 over 26 of d, of course. Then, substitute the value of 5 dito. Okay, substitute lang. Then, it will give us this constant, negative 11 over 78. And this is our equation 3. Now, in this case, we have 3 unknowns, 3 equation. We will use our calculator na dito. Okay, so that will be mode, equation. Hanapin natin yung 3 unknowns. This one, 3 unknowns, 3 equation. And that is in the bottom 2. Ayun. Then, gagawin natin dito is we will input the constant coefficient dito. Okay, so for A, that is 1. For C, that is 3 over 10. 3 over 10. Or that is 0.3, no? This one is 1 over 10 or 0.1. Okay, this is 1 over 10. And negative 0.7. Negative 0.7. Okay, so take note lang, no? If we will do simultaneous equation sa calculator, dapat if ano yung arrangement natin sa una, that will be A ang unang unknown, C, then D, dapat lahat ng arrangement natin pag ganyan din. Okay? Because hindi niya ibibigay yung tamang sagot if ang another arrangement natin dito is kumbaga C yung nauna, A, then D. So, hindi siya magbibigay ng tamang sagot. Okay? So, this one, 1 half or 0.5. And 4 over 17. And this 1 over 17. And negative 9 over 34. Okay. So, another one, that is 1/3. That is 5 over 26. That is 1 over 26. And that is negative 11 divided by 78. Okay, so pressing equals, this is the value of A, negative 1. This is the value of B, I mean C, that is 1. And this is the value of D. Our D here is 0 lang. Okay? So, summarizing the equation, I mean the answers, that is A negative 1, C is 1, D is 0. So this equation here can be rewritten as ganito, or our partial fraction of this is ito. A is negative 1 over x minus 2. B is 5, so 5 over x minus 2 squared. Then C is 1, so that will be 1x or x na lang over x squared plus 1. So take note, our D is 0, so diretso na. Okay? And that will be the answer.